me for this live hot take adventure through unlicensed transforming robots. It's my dude Aaron from Autopod Decepticast. How you doing, buddy?
Great. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mike Seibert Show featuring Aaron.
You know, we just did like a whole half hour of pre-show grab ass so that we wouldn't be in those kind of. No, it's awesome, and so we're doing something kind of special for you here, something a little different. We're kind of doing like a shared distribution type of thing, you know, kind of like when you watch that first Iron Man movie and you see like the giant Marvel Studios thing comes up. But then you see like the familiar Paramount logo. I'm getting way deep into the weeds, but basically what we're doing is this will be the live stream of the Mike Seibert Radio podcast, but the podcasting rights go to my friends at Autopod Decepticast. So if you missed this video for whatever reason, which now sounds silly because we're on the video, but anyway, you be able to listen to Decepticast feed dropping sometime in the future, and this is like a sequel of sorts to something we did last March when TFCon Orlando canceled. Basically, they had and that feels like a light, doesn't it?
I know. I can't. Yeah. When you brought that up, I was like, that wasn't 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, that was March 22nd, and basically, TFCon Orlando was one of the first casualties of the COVID pandemic shutdowns, and from what I understand, they had the third-party panel material already ready. Mm-hmm. So instead of scrapping it, they decided to it as a live stream video. They put it out on Facebook. They've put it out on YouTube, and out of nowhere, just kind of like impulsively, you know, Aaron and I connected and did a kind of like hot take reaction panel. So with that being said, now that TFCon Online is a thing this weekend, we thought we'd keep that tradition going and do kind of like a scorching hot take reaction video. I mean, like the coals haven't even chilled yet. I mean, like as of when we started this live stream, the third party panel finished maybe 25 minutes ago. So this is like scorching hot. Coals.
Tony Robbins style. I walked over the pit. And I made it. Everything's fine. Mild burns. But we're going to talk about the experience and how I'm a better person, and I can help all of you to be better people because of it.
Love that. I love the amount of self-help material that you consume and how it just makes its way into the shows that we do together. It's usually very subtle and very gentle, but I always like it.
I've actually never consumed any Tony Robbins material, for the record, though I do know people that have paid thousands of dollars to go to a Tony Robbins thing. So I've heard about the shenanigans at a Robbins Aluza.
Got it. There it is. So cultural osmosis, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So in just a little bit, I'm actually going to toss it over to Aaron. He's going to take the reins of hosting and kind of take us through the third-party panel that, as I said, just played out on the TFCon YouTube channel as part of the inaugural TFCon Online this weekend. But before we get there, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about kind of this day in APDC history, because it's so we're recording on Sunday the 25th, again the second day of TFCon Online, but it's an exciting day for the Autopod Decepticast. And I thought before we got too deep into this third party stuff, Aaron, I was wondering if you could talk about what happened earlier today. And actually, I just looked at my Twitter feed. It looks like the new episode has just dropped. So we'll have to talk about that a little bit as well. We're doing a little bit of being like in multiple places.
We're doing lots of crossover activity.
It is. I mean, like I was posting about all morning. It's like, I hope you're a fan of me because there is a lot of me today. It's like, I've got this, and then later on this evening I'm going to be on with the transmissions guys, and it's a lot of Mike. but anyway, yeah. So before we get too far, let's talk about the Sunday experience for APDC.
Okay, yeah, and same thing. It's going to be a lot of us as well with me on this program. Earlier today, they did a broadcast of the panel from last year at DC, and I'll go into that more in a minute. And then, yeah, the new episode's out, which we'll talk about because you are in the new episode. But yeah, it was pretty cool. We knew that this thing was going to be online for a while. And I think really it was just yesterday that they started putting out, they being the organizers of TFCon, they started putting out agendas for what was going to be happening. And it looked as if there were open slots. And we didn't have time, obviously, to prepare anything new or completely original for it. But I'm sitting there realizing we have this content that is pretty good. I feel I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed to say. And why not recycle that and throw it out there? So I sent a note over to Colin and they were down and took it and put it up. And so, yeah, this morning, and I think it'll probably, I imagine, be permanently on the TFCon presence. It was on our YouTube page, and it'll be back up actually after today. But it's our panel from TFCon DC last year, and it was a lot of fun. It was our second time doing a TFCon panel, and I think we'd smoothed out some of the rough edges. We had a lot of new content that we brought from the first time, and that has a direct link to you as well, because our first TFCon presentation we did in Chicago, you were there and were helping us out with it quite a bit as well. Unfortunately, you weren't at the DC one, but yeah, it was just a good audio visual. Dynamo, baby. And we didn't have the visuals really down yet. We still hadn't figured out how we would capture and record the visuals for the Chicago one. Otherwise, we'd probably use that material as well. But we kind of pre-planned a little bit for that. I figured out how to edit video a little bit better. And that's why we have the presentation that lies before you. And so, yeah, check that out. I'm assuming it will stay, like I said, on the TFCon site presence on YouTube, but it's also available if you just YouTube Autopod Decepticast, you'll find it.
Yeah, I just checked a little bit ago. It's still there, as are all of the videos from TFCon Online. Much of it was reheated material from previous TFCon shows, but some of it was new. Like there was a really good Beast Wars panel and some other cool stuff there. But I want to congratulate you guys on the response to the G1 Movie Madness panel that played on the TFCon feed, because that's, they've got like 31,000 subscribers or something like that. So it's hitting a larger audience that folks like us haven't really cultivated as yet. So it really is kind of like the opportunity to get on the larger stage, about as large as if when you were doing it live to a packed room. I've been following the con through the YouTube presence. So the fact that there is a Facebook presence, it was brand new to me. And when it was playing, and you should check the Facebook feed. There's other people having some fun with it over there. That was a delightful thing to discover. And I forget that there is this whole world of people that actually watch videos and do whatever their content thing is on Facebook. And I mean, Facebook drives a lot of revenue for big time content creators. And I just never think of it as a platform, because I stay about as far away from Facebook as you can without actually deleting my account. Right. But for those who haven't seen that special, or the Movie Madness TFCon special, it's a little bit different from what we do on the podcast, but it's inspired and in the vein of what we do in the podcast. It's a lot of original audio, visual, analytical content, based on some of it's based on some of the discussions we had during the movie, and some of it was just new stuff we thought up, and we just kind of experimented to figure out. There's about
4 or 5 segments. I managed a couple of them. Ryan had a script deviation segment where he kind of compiled the greatest hits in his opinion of deviations between the Ron Friedman drafts and the Dilly drafts. And then Caleb wrote and hosted our trivia segments that we did. And he did a fantastic job. His dry humor was perfect for it. And that's one other thing I think we'd optimize for next year. It'd be great to have one more person that was taping the audience segments, because from a video editing standpoint, I didn't want people just staring at my face, which is where the camera was while Ryan and Caleb were out in the audience. So it would be good to have that one extra camera that's actually following them and getting those people. I think that would complete it. But we have some ideas for the next TFCon. I think we're going to push it even further in terms of the segments and what we're going to do. More to come in the future on that. But yeah, no, it was great. I'm glad we had the opportunity to continue to use that content, and I'm happy that Colin and Evan and Paul and the gang and everybody that helped us out in producing and recording those things like the content enough that they're willing to put it out there and keep having us back.
Awesome. Well, it looks like you got a volunteers tribute. It looks like our dude Toby Alpha Magnus says, I'll do it.
Word. That's awesome.
So there it is. So are you looking
That's a smiley face tongue, so I don't know if that's a serious offer or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, shout out to Shar, who says, hi, Mike and Aaron.
Are you looking at Baltimore then next fall, potentially?
Yeah, probably. I don't have any reason why not at this point, provided that we can go places.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. It's who knows what's going to happen. But it just and I don't want to derail us too much, but it's interesting. I have seen things gradually open up. I think COVID fatigue is kind of a thing. Also, I was just watching on the news this morning, like folks that have been working from home for months are just suddenly returning, local meteorologists and news anchors and folks like that have spent months on their Pinterest game getting their work from home studio setups, and now they're just back in the studios with little fanfare. That's not what we're talking about. I do want to talk about, though, before we move on. Let's see. A new episode of Autopod Decepticast dropped, and again, as we talked about at the top, there's I hope folks are ready with Mike Cyber.
Yeah, so you are referring to episode number 139, where we, being the Autopod Decepticast and Mike Cyber, talk about Auto Berserk, which for whatever reason, I can't remember the in-joke behind this, has been subtitled The Rum and Pineapple Years, and I am not sure what that means, but yeah, that's the episode, classic episode where Red Alert has an injury, and he has a little post-traumatic sort of disorder from that.
Well, and he turns into
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry, I was having a little lag.
Yeah, me too. I just got a notification that says, oops, looks like your connection is not great. And I'm like, my connection should be quite great, but here we are. We will soldier on as best as we can. A paranoid meth head, basically. So, and I wanted to ask you about
team up.
Oh, that's right.
Team up between Starscream and Red Alert as well. I mean, not to spoil too much for it, but no, it's a fun app.
Absolutely, and I wanted to ask you about that because, like, we a little peek behind the curtain. We taped that out a few weeks ago, and I've done a lot of content since, so I've kind of forgotten about the episode. We were talking in the notorious APDC group text, and something about like an Alex Jones impression, and I had no idea what anybody was talking about. But I know you've recently just been under the hood in the editing suite, kind of spending more time with that episode than I have. And yeah, I just I was wondering if there were any additional nuggets that call folks to please check out our episode.
There was a couple funny tangents, and now, of course, none of them are coming to me because it was a day ago that we were finishing the editing on it. The Alex Jones one stood out. What the heck else? I mean, let's just let Alex Jones be the hook that drags everybody into the. Would you mind to do an impression real quick? Give us a taste of Mr.
Oh, if I feed my family, and if I see you, I will eat your ass. I will eat your ass. Mike Seibert eats ass.
All right, hang on. Let me remix that.
Ricky,
I will eat your ass. Okay.
So my takeaway from that is that Alex Jones eats ass. Well, I mean, how delightfully progressive.
I mean,
LOL, indeed.
If you have the devil in you, I mean, that's the only way to get the devil out of you. One other thing, since it's actually not going to be on the podcast, and I don't know if this person will be tuning into this before they listen to the podcast, but there is a listener of the show, Combatimus217. And this person's birthday is today. We've never met this person in person. I don't know if male or female, but they left an iTunes review and mentioned that today, this Sunday, is their birthday. So we didn't get a chance to shout that out, but hopefully you get a chance to listen and hear that, and we'll give it a shout out in a couple weeks. Sorry, that was a little random and a nice transition from Alex Jones and what he might have for lunch today.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah, we needed that.
Well, shout it out loud. Happy birthday.
I'm so mad that I can't remember. We fought a lot about what the Negavator does. The Negavator is the main trope
of the
episode, and I was saying it made things disappear. Everybody else probably rightfully believes that it just basically incinerates it or sends it to another universe or something. I don't know.
Now, see, I do remember this litigation now. It negavates.
Right.
I mean, right. Caleb gets
that's the one thing we know.
Credit for that kill. It negavates. That's all you need to know.
I'm trying to remember. There's some Gary Busey references.
Yes.
Is Red Alert a Manchurian Candidate? That was a topic of discussion.
Progresso.
That's enough. That's enough. A taster. Just go listen. It's out right now.
Absolutely.
That's listening to this. Don't stop listening to this.
Right. Oh no, my view count though. We've driven them away.
Down by a third.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ours is up by a third.
All right, man. So do we want to...
Thank you for doing the show, and also what should you hop on next? What episode might you be interested in exploring again?
Oh gosh. I was just thinking about this the other day too. The first one that pops into my head is Autobop, but I know that's further down the road because that has Trax and Raul and people being hypnotized in a nightclub, but more than anything, it has Blaster V Soundwave. And so that makes it an instant classic for me, but it's also a iconic classic for you guys because the music that plays in the disco is directly the direct inspiration for your theme music. So
that's true.
I'm sure you guys will have a lot of things to say about that, but there was another one sooner that I was thinking of, and it's just not off the top of my head. But yeah, I think sometime within the next few months we should definitely do something again, a MSRP X APDC. And since Shar is hanging out here in the chat as well, I think we talked about this already, but we got to do something to get More Than Meets the Pod involved also, and do this 3-way 9-hour recording session crossover. I have no idea what we would do, but I want to do something sooner than when they get to the movie. because I definitely want to do something with them related to the movie. But I know that that both of you guys, since your podcasts kind of go in parallel, that we're like over a year away from getting through season 2. So yeah, maybe maybe all of us can.
Although I think they're going faster. I think they're going to overtake us and will get to the movie before we do. But but still, something sooner than later would be great. I'm trying to think of what the right episode would be based on the characters that they go gaga over. And I'll think about it. And I see that you've pandered appropriately because we've gotten a yes. And then also shout out to Toby real quick, because it sounds like he's serious in his offer to be the cameraman, but he'll need I don't understand the trunk reference. He doesn't live in Canada, does he?
No.
I thought he was like in Minnesota or something. What border?
Ohio, I thought.
Ohio.
Like Cleveland-ish.
I don't know what border he's
going
to have to
border. Cross. And yeah, so like
he is going to have to sleep in the trunk, though. I mean,
there it is. Well, if you guys take the van, you could just throw the mattress back there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I think the time is here. The time is now. And incidentally, we've already shouted folks out in the chat. If you are watching this and are excited for our scorching hot takes as we go through the third-party panel, feel free and drop your hot takes and reactions. That's what this show is all about. It's just kind of getting that sear on the meat. getting that scorching hot take before before all of the other pundits have time to really think about it and kind of. Yeah, we just wanted to kind of do something visceral. So I think without further ado, my screen is shared. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play. And so
if your screen is shared, does that mean it should be the biggest element, or are all of our images the same size?
I think it's all the same size, but let me see if I can modify that a bit. Maybe I could do that. So we can do that and then leave us teeny tiny down. Oh, I'm stuck in a corner. I can live with that. You good with that?
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking about this because we're going to share the video and it's just going to be here on the live stream. It's like, well, hey, Mike, aren't you afraid of being, taken down or, infringing on anything? And I'm like, wait a sec. This is
third party of a third party.
We're talking about unlicensed transforming robot dolls. So, and yeah, this is an unlicensed third party podcast about it. So I think we're in the clear. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and press the play, and we're going to watch.
Pause 1 second. I do have a small soapbox to get on, and that is, were you following along on the YouTube or on Facebook for this?
YouTube, and because of the prep I was doing halfway through, the prep I was doing for this, I only jumped in like halfway through. So some of this early stuff, I mean, I've seen.
I might have lost you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear. I heard you say you got some early stuff. Or you weren't able to really interact with it, is what I got.
Correct. Okay, yeah, but I watched it on YouTube.
All right, gotcha. Well, the small soapbox I was going to get on is I feel like Ryan and Stacy are adorable co-hosts of this thing, and Ryan's been I think he's been managing it all the TFcons. I know when he's hosted it, I think he assembles the contact. I think he has all the contacts that get the images of the new stuff, and he curates it. And I love the dynamic that he and his wife Stacy have when they do this. And just, I mean, a personal message from me to all the commenters that bitch about the sense of humor and the corniness: go fuck yourself, because you have no soul. And I want to feel sorry for you, but I don't. You probably have a terrible life, and you deserve your terrible life. Yeah. And so that's my mini soapbox. This is their show. They've got the contacts. they'll do it the way they want to do it. If you don't like it, go make your own third-party panel. So
There
that's
it is.
I'll leave it at that, and go find some joy in your life.
Yeah,
That's my hottest take of this whole thing.
I agree 100%.
That's why I don't get on social media. I can't stand comment feeds. I can't stand comments, period. I can't deal with it.
Yeah. I hear you, but again, they do a fantastic job, and I agree with you, Aaron. They are adorable, and I don't know, maybe it's an age thing, because I'm sure if some of those gross troll people were tuning into this, because I mean we're just doing a show for our friends, that kind of thing. So I'm sure if those garbage people snuck into our feed, they'd be like, we spent 25 minutes talking about just pre-show grab ass, and so
right. Well, sorry, I dropped an F-bomb. Now you're demonetized. Sorry, Mike.
Oh no, they're gonna take my no dollars away from me.
You have to pay $4 to the air jar. All right, let's get into it. It was an interesting third-party panel for sure. A lot of weird stuff, and it kicked off weird. So let this ride a second.
Yeah.
It's so okay. So you have Ryan and Stacy who host this thing and have they're doing their voiceovers. But this Make Toys thing felt like it was pinned on after the video had already been edited, and Make Toys, however it's pronounced. And this was just pinned on really awkwardly with no voiceover, no sound, just a little bit of a couple of slides saying, hey, we got some Seekers. Our Seekers are coming out. We got this Acid Storm. It looks like a remold of their Starscream with more faces. And we promise you our cone heads are going to come out. And it was really weird. It felt very awkward. This is a company that feels like it's been kind of on the skids for the last year. They keep disappearing off the scene, and you can pause it there. Yeah. They keep disappearing off the scene and coming back and sending out letters saying, hey, we're still alive. We're still working on it. We got this Jazz coming out, re-release, and it's going to be extra painted. We promised we're going to finish all the stuff that we said we're going to finish. And then just to not have them have a real formal presentation, to have something that just was tacked on, was weird. It actually makes me more worried about the company. And if you were to back up, you'd see some release dates that they're putting out there for some of those figures. And I wouldn't bank on any of those release dates based on the evidence before me. But the problem is, I love this company. I've got the one cone head that they have out. I want those other two cone heads. Yeah. Because I don't have a finished cone head collection, and theirs is the best. I also have their 3 main Seekers. They're beautiful. And of course they're going to be competitive with the Takara one that's coming out. But it's a great company. They make great things. They also need to finish some Headmasters. But I hope that I'm wrong and that they're moving forward and progressing and financially fitnessed.
Well, and this is a different conversation for a different day, because I don't think we can tangent too much within. We just have too much material to cover.
You're right. It was just a weird start to the whole event.
Yeah, well, and I want to dig deeper some other time, kind of like the state of third party, because like we've seen some rumblings, and without spoiling the end of this panel, I wonder if the how shall we say, lack of a certain exhibitor, what that may or may not mean. It might mean everything. It might mean nothing. Yeah. Hashtag Diecast was right. I don't know.
That's really funny. Yeah, this Planet X, I'm thinking so Planet X does these War for Cybertron figures that are masterpiece style, and they also have an IDW figure and another one coming out that we'll see here in a second. But it looks good. I'm not in for it. This is a remold or retool of their Optimus Prime figure, and I guess, is it an Ultra Magnus reference? I don't know that well enough to. So
it's like the Transmissions guys kind of explained it better. Yeah, it's a Diaclone reference. So they explained it better than I could here. But basically, it's they took the Ultra Magnet, or it's a redeco of their Ultra Magnus in Diaclone colors, basically.
Got it.
And so yeah, it was it. One of the other things I found interesting is when Daryl was talking about it, Cybertronian Beast, he had talked about this Japanese trailer for Transformers the movie with like all of the extended battle scenes and all of that, but he was sounding like he had just discovered it. And
Really?
I'm like, oh, buddy, that's on my 20th anniversary DVD from over 10 years ago. I mean, the footage is great, but it does feature Ultra Magnus in his kind of black and red and blue Diaclone colors. So
yeah, I know the scene you're talking. It's like a cut scene that kind of in the base or something and comes running out. Yeah.
Yep. And so anyway, so this is a homage to that. And what makes it a TFCon exclusive is that it's in a metallic deco. So so that's one of the show exclusives for TFCon Online.
Well, to pick up the pace here a little bit, their Shockwave looks great. My experience with this company is that they have a Deathsaurus. It's a great figure. It's solid. I bought an add-on kit for it so I can have an IDW version and a G1 homaged version. It looks great. It's well painted. It's a beautiful figure. I have no doubt all their other work is pretty well reviewed. And I'm sure this Shockwave looks cool as hell. So War for Cybertron people I know they've got a Prime out. They've got a Megatron out. I think a couple Seekers maybe. But solid company putting out good products.
Good stuff. Let's see if I can zip this along a little bit. Oh, yeah. And I was going to mention I think that's already out, right? That's a G2 Grimlock.
Oh, G2.
And he's been out for like a year or so. And again, it's a cool aesthetic, big and thick and beefy. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any interest in this aesthetic. It's fine. But yeah,
I remember when this game came out. It was a little bit after the Bay movies started coming out. And I remember everybody saying, look, you actually can create a realistic looking Transformer that homages G1 in a way that is, still realistic and doesn't look like a pile of garbage super glued together.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're doing IDW stuff too. This Grimlock, I believe MMC has designs for Grimlock too, from an IDW perspective. But these drawings look great. I will completely grab this bad boy if and when it ever comes out. It's a beauty in both modes. The robot mode looks exactly like the what would have been Alex Milne style drawings of Grimlock, and
look at that.
Looks great too.
That's dope.
Super articulated. The tail looks like it can swivel all about.
Well, it's interesting because again, maybe a different conversation for a different day, but clearly there's still a demand for characters inspired by the IDW1 comics continuity.
And then half of their business would be gone if that wasn't true.
Yeah. And again, not to be provocative, but I don't see anybody clamoring for IDW2 designs.
I need to get in that comic world so I can make that call. This was an interesting one. So Zeta is basically disappeared. They put out their two giant combiners, which I have both of them and can testify to their quality and great looks. They've got a Superion and their Bruticus out, of course, and now they're doing this legend-sized Superion, and it looks great, but it's just weird because it's one of those companies that is just it's on a weird track, right? They were going to put out their Unicron, then that whole whatever that Hasbro kerfuffle was, then it came out under a different name, different brand, maybe a different company, I don't know. And then, but they also had Trainbots in the works. They also had Predacons. They had a design for a Predacon at least, and there was a render of one of the Trainbots, and we'll get more previews of that later, and we can circle back around to this thread. But Zeta is a company that puts out good quality product. I like it. They're derivative of the world themselves.
Right.
And now they're just in this weird space. But that I'm not going to buy it. But that Superion does look great. Great little Legends piece there.
So is that just downsized from their masterpiece scale then?
It looks like, whenever I take a glance, just very top level, it looks a lot like the masterpiece scale.
Which
that torso on the Superion looks a little bit different. That's more toy or even animation inspired, to be honest. But I would have to spend some time looking at it. But yeah, the characters, even the weird way that some of the face sculpts are off and kind of mushy, is the same as the way they're off and mushy in the masterpiece versions. So I'm feeling they look good. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to buy them, but it's a good company that makes good stuff. But they're also, Legends would be a new thing for them, as far as I know. They haven't been in the Legends game, so now they're a new entrant into that game. Right. And it'd be kind of weird that they're just they'd be recycling their masterpiece figures to do it, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, and again, Legends is all the rage. You know, it seems like, as I don't know if you want to call it the economy or whatever, but it just seems like maybe even just like available space.
Sure.
Where it seems like collectors are downsizing, kind of like half the price, half the size. I think that Legend scale definitely appeals.
True. And I don't think that there is a Legends. There hasn't been a Legends combiner other than the ones that Iron Factory has put out. Right. I think they put out a Bruticus, and what is the other alternate, Baldigus or something? Just a recolor of Bruticus. So it's a space. The combiner space in Legends is still pretty fertile territory. Yeah, this Kidman company you've got up here, never heard of it. I think it's a new player. I think these are original designs. I don't know what they're inspired by. Do you, Mike?
No clue. And
I don't think they transform. I think they're posable statues, is what I got from the presentation. Kind of what do they call it? Flame toy style.
Oh, sure, like a Furai model kit type of thing.
Well, not even a model kit necessarily, but just a posable action figure, highly articulated.
Interesting.
And then the Mega Tank thing, I'm assuming you've got Mega Tank up here.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's a Bumblebee movie Megatron.
I think that's a fair assumption, because it aesthetically looks like it. So, I don't know how I feel about these toys that are kind of doing like imagination experiments. I don't know who this is for. It's not for me, because I guess for me, what I look for in a figure is something that resembles something. Meaning, like, it doesn't have to be 100% tune accurate. I know that's kind of like the aesthetic that kind of seems to be the rage, getting more and more tune accuracy. See our entire discussion about Studio Series 86. I mean, that's definitely what I'm into, but I'm also down for stuff that looks like it came out of comic books as well. Right. So, sure. but ones that don't look like anything, I can't get into it.
Do you mean that even for Official, when Official puts out their giant, highly articulated figures that aren't based on any fiction in particular?
Correct. Yeah. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I like a good original take on things. I mean, as a creator, I'm sure you like to get those opportunities to interpret a character your way, but for the purposes of commerce, it's hard to make an argument that people want to see a brand new thing that's not connected to anything, and then on top of it, it's third party.
Yeah.
But if that Megatron is connected to the Bumblebee universe in some way, then it should be on solid ground. But sure. I don't know. So you've got it paused here on. I love Fans Hobby. Fans Hobby is a great company. I don't have Minerva design, but this is another one of those con exclusives, right?
Correct. Yes. And this one, for a variety of reasons, has been a topic of discussion. Folks have opinions. And before I kick it back to you, Aaron, I guess my hottest take, this thing's a turd. I don't like it.
You
I
don't
don't
like the
like.
design, or don't like this interpretation of the design?
Yes.
Okay.
I love this as a Minerva mold, and
Okay.
I mean, because like Athena, Athena looks great. That's a solid ass Minerva. And the thing that folks are screaming for is for that to be redecoed and retooled into Nightbeat. It's right there.
Hey, Mike,
So
pause 1 second. I'm hearing, and I don't know. I'm seeing in the chat. I don't know if you can see it. It says restream done goofed. A couple people are saying, yeah, same. I don't know if you see those call outs, but then Alpha Magnus also sent me a text, and it looks like I might be the only one on the screen right now.
oh no.
I might be talking to myself. If I'm talking to myself, somebody throw out a thumbs up.
Yeah, let me see what's going on. Oh, sure enough. I see it now, because I usually have the stream going on a different screen. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop my screen sharing, and I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to spotlight me. Maybe Mr. YouTube did. Audio for Mike is working. That's good.
But I assume our screen share is not working then. But
oh, this is funny. This has never happened to me before.
that's the beauty of going live.
I'm telling you, man, I like that. I like that risk. So I'm going to do something. Yeah, see, I'm still not seeing me on the screen. So can see and hear Aaron, but you can't see Mike, right?
Yeah, Toby sent a picture. He's watching it on a big screen, and it's just me at the bottom.
It's just Aaron. Okay, so hang on a sec. I am gonna.
And he's got subtitles on. That's probably a good idea.
That's dope. All right, I'm gonna try something. I might lose me, but I'll see what happens. Stand by.
All right, now the show is all mine. All mine. Oh, hi, Mike.
Wait, what? What's happening? Yeah, let me see. Well, this is a unanticipated thing here. I don't know what's happened. Let me see what's going on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We could look at our own YouTube presence. Or you mean Facebook?
That too. Just described the bots really well. Thank you, Michael Andrews. I agree. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I can't see mine.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's just me. I can see it.
Yeah, and it's just like Aaron in the bottom, which is not what I can see on my screen currently. So
what happens if you kill all of this and then jump back on? What happen? Because I know I probably can't stay on because it's your stream, right?
Right. So what I think I can do, I'm just gonna start over.
It's so funny because I can see you, Mike, by the way, in our live studio.
And I can see you. So all right. So apologies. I am gonna hit finish, and then Aaron.
Thank you to everybody that helped us sort out this technical issue.
Yeah, because we could have been going on and on and on and not known anything. Disappointed. Yes. All right. So stand by 1 second, and then we'll be back shortly, maybe.